Christmas Reunion is watchable, but only just. This was released in 2016. It's directed by Chip Rossetti, written by Rossetti, Shannon LeGrand, and John Cosper. And this takes place almost entirely in a diner, apart from a few flashback scenes. And I'll talk about the flashbacks in a moment. And in general, a film can take place in one location and be sustainable, but it went stale really, really quickly. The biggest issues are the lack of events in the narrative. At one point, they tried to make something dramatic happen and it was just so ridiculous. And the acting is not great. It really isn't. So it is watchable, but really only just. It's about a group of people who are in a diner or a cafe in a snowstorm, and they're reconnecting with their pasts because they all went to school together or they all know each other from their pasts. And it's all about their different stories and evaluating who they were and where they are now and where they wish they were and making amends for things they did wrong. As a narrative concept, it's fine. It's not bad. But the actual execution of the story is so poor. It is very dull. It is relying on flashbacks on a couple of occasions. The first flashback is about 8 minutes in length. That's ridiculous. And I think we have another flashback a little later on that's quite short. And then we have a bit of animation as well, because why not? It's very poorly constructed, and the performances are not all of the performances and not all of the same actors either. Sometimes an actor will give a pretty poor performance, but then a little later on their acting will actually be not too bad. So it's kind of inconsistent, but there are quite a lot of wooden performances in this. And that, coupled with the very dull narrative and honestly pretty irritating characters. I think the only character I liked would probably be Auntie Jane. She's played by Peggy Goodman, and I liked her character. I liked it whenever she was the focus, but all of the other characters, very boring, not interesting. I did not care about their backstories at all. And I don't think the Christmas aspect is too bad. Credit where it's due. The decorations are gorgeous. So visually, because we are spending the entire time, apart from a few flashbacks, in this diner or cafe, and we do have some Christmas decorations, yeah, it looks twinkly. It looks quite pretty. I can't fault that. But the rest of it is terrible. It's an okay idea, but it's terribly executed with some pretty poor performances, some okay performances, a very slow narrative where nothing happens until something towards the end. And I won't say what it is, just in case you decide to watch it, but something towards the end happens where they tried to make it really dramatic and it didn't work. And I don't recommend it. It's not even one of those films that's okay for background watch if you want a bit of company, because I found it to be too irritating. So it is watchable if there's maybe somebody in this whose performance you want to watch, but in general I'd say it's probably just not worth it. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but there aren't really any redeeming qualities about this. The Christmas Reunion definitely isn't a good film.